everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you podcasts where we'll talk about different fandoms, different animes, holidays, colors, conventions, and sometimes we like to talk about the art of cosplaying, where once again we're talking about social media content and cosplay content. So how we get ready, how we film and everything, what kind of programs do we use. So we're going to get into all that. But before we begin, I want to introduce our lovely guest and tea sippers here with me today, starting with...
Yeah, hello again. It is, of course, Ackley Attack. I go by he, him, his pronouns. And, of course, you can find me on Instagram on Ackley Attack 4427. And, of course, you can find me at my handle, Ackley Attack TV. And, of course, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Patreon, just to name me a few for sure. And I'm, of course, in my Beacon Dance Ruby Rose cosplay, not only with, of course, good old Zwei here with me by my side, but also with, of course, everything that I've actually got to mix things up with this cosplay. And moreover, I'm really excited to be part of this subject matter. It's definitely going to be a fun blast, especially with, of course, with what I'm good at for about, well, 15 years now.
Oh.
Wow. Hi, I'm Mad Hatter Cosplays. I go by she, her, hers pronouns. I have been cosplaying for 7 years now. Feels like forever. I am currently in Femme Bakugo, and you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mad Hatter Cosplay, same thing with TikTok. And yeah, I'm really excited to share about this form of cosplay and how you can also use it and kind of separate your personal life and your cosplay life.
So I'm Springy. I accidentally made a very loud sound, and I'm sorry. I go by he, him, his, that. I'm currently being the Green Ranger. That's why this was very loud and noisy. It does not have an on-off switch. I've been cosplaying for 8 years, I think, off the top of my helmeted head. But yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I'm also Demon Interviews on the Instagrams, Twitters, everything. And yeah.
Awesome sauce. So yes, thank you everyone for joining today. So as always, my name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time as well as today's host. I go by she, her, hers pronouns. I'm YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Jen.Cosplays45. And today I am a pop star, Pira Nico. So she's taking the stage, singing her song. So okay, and with intros done and out of the way with, we're just going to start with one icebreaker question for right now, which is, how do you keep your cosplays organized?
Well, I think to me, from what I can gather, I usually keep my cosplays organized in many different categories. I think I usually keep the costumes itself on hangers that I will hang up in my closet, but I also keep pretty much stuff like, say, some shoes and other props I actually got in like different bins and everything as a good way to not let things be cramped up in my closet, or let alone be crushed or collect dust and everything. So I think it's actually a really good way to help keep me organized with, of course, all of my cosplays, which can actually be of a massive hassle given to how much space I'm actually cramming up inside my closet. But if it's still willing to get the job fine, I'm not complaining one bit.
Yeah, so I keep mine similar to Ackley. I have mine on hangers. I have them in several different bins. They're in like tubs, and I put like duct tape on the front and like label what is in there so I don't forget. I usually actually keep my wigs separated, and they're in their own special bin. They're in their bags because most of my wigs I can just quickly restyle. my shoes, I try to use shoes that I wear every day or shoes that I can kind of wear every day, so they're still in my like normal closet. But a lot of my cosplays are in bins or they're hung up because I don't want them to get too squished. Unless I'm moving, then they get put in bins and they have to deal with it.
Over there, up, over there, and over there. There's no organization over here. A good chunk of them just stuffed in a bin over there. And capes and gloves, like thin gloves, are shoved into a popcorn bucket.
Hey, whatever
And
works.
most of them are either in the closet over there, over there, over there, or up there. No rhyme or reason. Or over here. Or right here.
Okay. Alright, wonderful. Yes, so my cosplays, I have like a wooden organizer closet thing that I built with a friend and stuff, so they're hanging up there. Got another rack. Most of them, it's like separated from like anime to Ruby to OCs, and then the second rack is mostly like, you know, plain color t-shirts, like white t-shirts, button downs, and everything, so I could just grab that first and then go pick out my cosplays. And then wigs, oh gosh, do we want to talk about wigs? Yeah, they're kind of like on little stands, and at least the ones that I commonly use or I'm about to use and stuff, and then like the other ones are just in a lovely little bin, all hodgepodge together. But one of these days I'll get them right and organized. So, alright, we're gonna wrap up this little icebreaker, and we're actually just gonna go ahead and jump right into today's theme, because we probably have a lot of stories and experiences to share. So we're going to start talking about social media content and cosplay. Now, we did have, like a part 1 that was posted, oh gosh, earlier and stuff like that. You can go check that out after this recording. We'll probably have the link down below as well. We had folks join that one, but because we had so many people interested, which is awesome, it was kind of like, I don't want to just do one day, so we can split it into 2 parts so more folks can join and share. So, and we'll definitely do this topic again, maybe with different questions down the road as well. So, we have a lot of good stuff. So, yes, we're going to be sharing our experiences, stories, tips and tricks, and all of that. So, it's just our words and all that. You know, viewers out there, if you're watching and you want to leave a kind comment about your cosplay experience and what it's like being on social media, you are more than welcome to. We love looking forward to those comments. So, but we're going to go ahead and start this tea party with our first question. Ackley, get ready. What experiences have led you to sharing your cosplay experience online or to create content? So, like, what led you to start sharing cosplay content online?
Well, I think it pretty much does go all the way back to when I first started making videos on YouTube, all the way back in 2008, and that's right before that I actually started getting into cosplay in particular, because I didn't want to see myself as just a regular guy wanting to, you know, be dressed up or anything else outside of that. I just want to see myself as just a basic entertainer, just to explore different mediums and stuff, and like all that sort of stuff. But it wouldn't be until sometime after I got into a cosplay just to see if I could be good at it or not, that I think pretty much from what I can remember when I first shared my Ash Ketchum cosplay onto my Facebook, a lot of people seem to actually really like that at the time, especially since after I first wore it at a convention years ago, and I think from what I could gather, I knew I wanted to keep on going with this cosplay thing just to see if I could get better and better at it with each and every new opportunity that I want to do, either as a good way to be experimental or just to mix things up a bit, kind of like what I am doing right now with this outfit, as you can see here. So I think from what I could gather, sharing my cosplays on social media, it can actually be a massive challenge by far because you still had to do some stuff to garner a lot of people's attention and stuff and see about getting to do some stuff to get people to follow you and actually let you to create more content. But as time progresses and when I started getting better and better at it, I knew right away that this is definitely one thing I want to do alongside plenty of other opportunities that might seek my way. So yeah, can be a bit of a challenge for the most part, but if you can actually find a way to do it right, kind of like what I've been doing for over 15 plus years now, which is definitely saying a whole lot. I say that'll be more than then I think that'll really get you on the right track, especially if you're like a newcomer and stuff and want to be like the people that you admire, like I have for the past several years.
Cool.
So for me, I started cosplaying in 2017, but I had been dressing up in costumes before then because I have a background in theater. So I was always getting put into different costumes and becoming characters, and I loved that. I started getting into cosplay because I wanted to choose the characters I got to be, not, told who I get to be. And then sharing it online, it brought people who like the same fandoms as me, who I could talk about the different fandoms. And it also brought me a lot of friends, and it also subsequently brought me my husband. Like, cosplay, just as a general thing, is an amazing way to get to meet people. But then you put it online and you get to realize, oh, there's people I are across the country, across the world, that are like, oh, I love your cosplay, and they start following you, and you go, okay, I want to keep doing this. And it can be a challenge because, again, there are days that I'm like, I don't want to post anything, I don't want to get into cosplay because time, energy, I don't have that right now, just mentally. Physically I probably could, but mentally I'm like, nope, not happening today. So cosplay and content creation with it can be a challenge, but the rewards at the end of it, if you, as Ackley said, if you do it right, if you do it in a way that will work, the rewards are amazing. The rewards are great.
Brain fart. I've been doing it for about 8 years or so. Like I said, a lot of mine started off as very closet cosplay based things, or just like very cheap materials in general. Not counting this helmet. Like starting off with my marionette, where it was a turtleneck and white duct tape on my arms and my legs. So I went from that, and then immediately tried to do a whole plush suit, which yeah. But yeah, I feel like my cosplay journey has been up and down with the different stuff I've been doing. So yeah.
Like a roller coaster. I always think of that whenever I see that. So, yeah. Like that idea. So, and you all like address the challenges too with posting online. So, I will say, so I did the first part, and I kind of went more in depth with like my responses. I'll try to keep them brief here too. And also, you can check out Demon Interviews because some of these questions Springy asked me, and I go even further into detail in my interview, so you can go check that out as well. But yeah, so I started cosplaying in 2020 because of the whole pandemic, staying at home, seeing other cosplays from shows that I like, She-Ra, Ruby, My Hero Academia, and everything like that, and being like, I want to do that, even though I don't have money, because cosplaying gets very, very expensive. But, finding a closet cosplay and, like sewing like little things here and there. So, and then, like creating the content, posting the content, like getting a reaction, gaining followers and friends eventually, like through cosplay, like has really kept me on my journey for the past 3, almost 4 years. A little scary to say that out loud. Oh gosh. Moving on. We're gonna do our next question, which is, from filming to editing to storing content, so film, edit, store, what is your routine and how long do you film for?
Well, I guess on my part, as someone who actually does have experience with, of course, video editing, it does kind of vary throughout my time for sure. Sometimes I can actually get it done within a few hours, or other times it would actually take me several days for sure. Like if there's probably like one big video that I want to do where I want to show off my cosplays. Sometimes I think with, of course, what I got with my videos, they're mostly unscripted for the most part when I filming live for sure. But as long as I'm still willing to give you guys the massive results in the end, I still think it actually is well worth it. And I think for other things as well, with pretty much videos and stuff while you're in the cosplay, showing it off and doing stuff in character, it actually does kind of differ for the most part. And usually when I do stuff like that, it usually takes me about 2 or 3 takes at most, or maybe I could go above 10 for sure. And when it comes to editing the final product all together and sharing it with the people that want to see that kind of content, again, can be very time consuming for the most part, but as long as, of course, you're still willing to give off something really great and fantastic by all means. And trust me when I say there are going to be times you're not going to please everyone on the internet because, well, that's not how it works entirely. So, but still, as long as, of course, the final result comes out great to, of course, the way that you envisioned it, I say it's no problem whatsoever, and there's nothing wrong with that on my part.
So a lot of my content is more photos. I don't do as many videos. A lot of times when I do videos, it's on TikTok. So I just kind of, usually TikToks take me like 5-10 minutes to do. They're not super long for me to film because I just don't do them as often. But when I'm taking photos, just to get ready, it might take me an hour and a half, depending on the cosplay. To do the whole photo shoot might take me an hour to 2 hours. That also just depends on what I'm doing. I could also like be taking photos for an hour and then I look at all the photos and I go, I hate every single one of them. And that's before I do any editing, and I just get really anxious about it. It's a self-conscious thing, self-esteem, all the things that, cosplay usually helps with. Sometimes just the day is not good for the mental health. So I don't delete the photos. I just hold on to them for a while, and then I'll go back and go, okay, let me look at this again. Let me try again, see what I want to do. Or I just say, screw it, I'm going to just post these and just deal with it. So it really just depends on the cosplay, but it can take me the whole process maybe about 6 to 7 hours. If I do it in one sitting, but I usually try and spread it out through a couple days so that I'm not burning out. I think that is something really important for anybody wanting to do content creation of any kind, is try and avoid the burnout when you can. Because when you do burn out, it sucks. And it hurts everything with creating any content. Like, you'll stop. And to keep yourself from that, know yourself and know, okay, I can do the photo shoot on Saturday. Great. I'm not going to post it for maybe a week because I'm just constantly trying to do stuff. I also will post more on stories on Instagram than I do on like actual posts on like physical posts, because it works better for me to be like, yeah, I did this today. Cool. You'll see it at some point. But hey, at least someone knows that I did this and I can do that, and that kind of gets the traction going a little bit.
My content creation primarily is through demon interviews, which is where I interview different cosplayers, and I've talked about so many times I don't need to go over it again. But for my own self, whenever I do get the motivation to actually get into cosplay and get to do anything, I try to do as many videos with that character as I can, and then slowly leak them out throughout I have no motivation to get in anything time and put it out there. And yeah, that's primarily what I do. A lot of them only take me like a few minutes. Could also be that I am not a perfectionist with myself, mainly when I don't have to show my face. So I'm like, oh, that's good. I moved enough, and yeah, I'm a very laid back person a lot of the time, and that I it's hard to breathe in this thing sometimes, and it's very foggy and claustrophobic in here. So that's why I'm like, um, but yeah, it I basically take like an hour in a day when um and I just do as many in that one character as I can, and then I just post them slowly throughout until I do another one, basically. And yeah.
Very cool. Alrighty. So, um, yeah, I will say, at least for today, like doing like pop star like Pura, probably took me like 20 minutes to get ready, and then doing like a couple TikToks and stuff for some friends, and then photos and stuff. Probably took like another 20 minutes. So sometimes it can be quick, and then there's other cosplays too that might take a little bit longer. You know, I might have more like videos. Really depends on like what kind of audios I find. If I have to practice those beforehand, so I get the lip sync just right and everything. So yeah, it's usually with the cosplay stuff I do mostly TikTok. Now the YouTube, I think I talked more in depth, but that takes like almost a month to prepare. Like what kind of content, what do I need to buy, and stuff like that. So yeah, TikTok's it takes a little bit shorter, and then YouTube's like, okay, I gotta plan out so much more. But again, that end result is worth it. So so much fun making pancakes as Nora. So yes. Let's see, we have another fun question, which is what equipment do you use to help make content?
Well, I guess from what I could gather, I've actually got like tons of course, equipment that could, of course, help me out. Like, of course, I've got like a digital camcorder to help record video alongside plenty of others I actually got. Like, of course, pretty much a camera grip for, of course, some nice steady shots, and a shotgun microphone to really get some of that crisp, clear sound, despite the fact that it keeps dying on me due to running out of battery, so I may need to probably get a new one that works properly, but I guess I'm moving on from there, but amongst other things that I would do, and that's mainly on the YouTube side of things, with hopes I might actually get more stuff like this to help expand on my video making career. And sometimes I will use the camera on my phone and stuff, whether I want to take pictures and share them on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, or do a nice little video for TikTok and stuff, just to name a few for sure. So yeah, sometimes I think it does kind of vary on my part, and trust me when I say gain the proper equipment, especially the editing software that you need to, of course, make the content and stuff. That too can be expensive alongside the cosplays on that front. But if you're still willing to take the risk and actually give off some really good stuff in the end to help boost things up a bit, then that should be a problem on my part. And I know I may be no teacher, but if I would have actually gave the opportunity to pass on my knowledge on, of course, making content online to someone else to see if they could be good at it for sure, I say I would definitely put them on the right path towards what they need to do entirely. And sometimes it can work for some people, but other times it can't. But as long as, of course, it'll come out great, then I don't think you should have any problem whatsoever, especially, of course, pretty much being in costume like all of us are now.
Yeah. So most of my stuff again is photos. So I do have a ring light. It's on a nice stand. It's currently helping light my face right now because it is dark o'clock over here. I use my phone for all the photos and doing a lot of editing because I don't really like to do it on my computer because I like to do my editing on the go when I have time. And really, that's as long as you have the right applications and the just even a simple ring light, that can change so much. You can get LED lights to give you different lighting backgrounds. I think I got some off of Amazon or even from Walmart for like 10, $15. So to Ackley's thing of like, yeah, you gotta spend some money. Yeah, you do. You do have to spend some money, but you don't have to get like the like top of the line stuff to start. If you are not there, just getting some simple things to it elevates the look of just here's me taking a photo with my phone to here's me with my photo on the phone, but I had lighting, I had angles that really will elevate it. And I think just those few things can elevate any like cosplay photography or any photography that you're wanting to do with your cosplays.
Um, for TikTok, I just have my phone. I have my phone, and whatever lighting arrangement that's in the laundry room, and a bottle of detergent as a stand. Um, yeah. Shout out to Snuggle, not sponsored.
That's sponsored.
For YouTube, I use my laptop for all my video needs. I recently got a full-on Yeti mic, as you can see right here. Um, got in a camera over there as well. It's not my computer camera. That would be here. It's over there. And I also have a portable, um, a massive. Sorry. See if I can grab it without making all the noise. Um, a giant storage bank for all my videos. Demon Interviews lives on this. All the videos are on this. Yes, including the ones Jen has made. They're on here. All on here. And I've not even taken a quarter of this up yet. That is how big this is. It is full of video, and I pretty much copied my whole computer's hardware onto it. And it's still only not even at a quarter yet. Yeah. But I do agree with what everybody else said. It does take money. You gotta spend some money if you wanna. I won't say make money, but like raising have actually made money from this yet. Um, but it does take money to start and have content that gets the word out there pretty much, if that makes sense. But yeah, and technically my headphones are just plugged into my mic. It's all the way over there. So yeah, but I started off with just like the laptop I had, and that's it. I used the microphone that was in the laptop. I used some very not great headphones. Um and yeah, and that's how you start, and then as you just evolve and like, okay, I'm actually going to continue doing this, then I would say that is when you can start buying the more expensive things. Like I've been doing interviews for, God, that's been almost 4 years now. God, okay. That's when you start buying, more expensive things when you know you want to continue doing it. Like, I would suggest don't go out there and be like, I'm going to buy the most expensive everything. If you only have like an idea and haven't actually taken the time to look into like, for example, is Demon Interviews taken already? Is this a name that is already established somewhere? You just have to do a little bit of research, and then you have to be like, oh, okay. Then once you get everything going, you got a little bit of a fan base and everything, then you can go ahead and start buying stuff. That's crazy expensive. I suggest Amazon, because that mic was 120 in the store, only 100 online. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah, I like how you said it. It's pretty like you evolve, and all I could think is like a little cosplayer Pokemon. like character just like evolving like each and every single time. Like, you know, you save a little bit of money and stuff, and then you like go to the next thing and the next thing. So I like that term a lot, like getting to evolve. So, um, I think I explained previous video and stuff. I just have ring lights, green screen backdrop, my phone, of course. Trying to think. I use my PC for editing videos, and then I use my laptop here for recording, either for Cosplay Tea Time or for like other channels as well. So that's what I got. So, and I also got another question. Yay! So everybody's favorite. So our next question is, what type of original content do you provide? What's your content type?
Well, I guess on my part, it does kind of vary, of course, from what I could gather. Like, it's not just cosplay videos on my part, but I also usually take the time to do like sketches and stuff, as well as, of course, vlogs for like conventions and events and all that sort of stuff, just to help fuel, of course, what I got alongside reviews from my part, which, yeah, is quite a lot to handle, but I actually don't mind going from one subject matter to the next on that front, as long as, of course, I'm doing something to help fuel my online career and actually keep it going to gain more followers and stuff. That, I will have to say, really does work out quite well, and the risk really does pay off on that front. But as long as, of course, there's plenty of time and effort to, of course, give off what you actually got in the end, I say that it really does work out quite well on that front. And I mean, from what I can gather, I'm nowhere near pretty much on the same level as some of the big YouTube channels we've been getting in recent years. But I know hands down that there are people like me that is already taking some nice steps to hopefully get there at some point. Because, well, as the saying goes, climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of my content is, I think a lot of cosplayers, it's hard to have quote unquote original content because a lot of times we're posting what we're wearing. We're posting ourselves in cosplays. And videos, yeah, we can have some fun with it and we try different things. Most of my content is, I wouldn't say it's very original in terms of like new ideas, but it's finding ways to, showcase the cosplays and just having fun with that. So I cosplay from a wide variety of fandoms. I usually will try and cosplay the like main outfit, but I also love cosplaying, different designs or original designs of the cosplays. I think one of my favorites is Yor from Spy X Family, and it's the Hannah Alexander design. And that was so much fun for me to make off the design. And I think that's my favorite part is like that's the content I like to make is yeah, it's the character, but it's not the character at the same time. Like this is feminine Bakugo, but it's very casual. I'm wearing a cardigan that is, made from Kiku Shop that they do great work. They're doing like anime inspired stuff. So that's more the content I like to create. I still love, getting to cosplay and make the cosplays of the characters. Like this is their original design. I'm going to cosplay that, but I think just mine is more I like to take the character and change the design a little bit, or just, instead of being a male character, it's a female character. I like to gender bend them a bit because I don't really do male cosplays very much.
My content is primarily just like the standard, what you think a cosplayer does on the TikToks type of thing. Doing lip syncs to audios, stuff like that. But on Demon Interviews, we have the actual interviews, which is where I interview different cosplayers as themselves. Character interviews, where I'm interviewing them as their character that they are currently dressed up as. Jen has been in it once or twice. Then there is Demon Media, where whatever I feel like putting there is what I put there, pretty much. But it's primarily like just like recaps on shows, movies, stuff like that. sometimes games and stuff. Then doing reviews, which is where you would think that's where we put the reviewing of the shows. No, that's where we review different cosplay props that like we've either bought or pieces where how we made it and stuff like that. I did review this helmet. I reviewed my dragon dagger that's over there. I'm not used to having this here. I need to actually review this because this is the new Master Morpher that came out. Or also review like different swords. I also have guests to review things as well. Starfire has only happened twice. But yeah, there's a lot of different variety of content I do. I don't just stick with Ruby. Seems like I do, but I don't. I also do, Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Tokusatsu in general. Video games like Fantasy Freddy's, Doki Doki Literature Club, which is actually our most viewed video, is Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, those are the primary things I'm currently working on content-wise.
Nice little tidy summary of demon interviews right there. And I'm over here like I've done each and every single one of those, so it's a lot of fun. Let me see. OG content. I can only think of my most recent YouTube video. It's on JenMouse45 is my other account and stuff, which was like a little headcanon skit of like Nora and Ren when Nora finally figures out that, spoiler alert for Ruby Volume 9, the Bumblebee kiss and everything like that. So it was kind of like this goofy little skit in my head that if they're not going to give us, me like Ruby, if they're not going to give us what I want, then I'm gonna make it. So apparently that is over 200 views. I don't know where these people are coming from, but yeah, so scary. This question's not so scary, or maybe it is, because it's like a two-parter question. So the first part of the question is, what is your best memory / favorite moments when making content? And then on the flip side of that, you have, what is your worst memory / pet peeves when creating content?
Well, I think on my part, from what I could gather, there's like tons of really great memories when making content revolving around my cosplays and stuff. Probably I think the best memory from what I could gather, especially in recent years, is of course when I did one of my TikToks, and of course my barber cosplay. Around the time I actually got it and tried out and stuff, I did a little recreation of course her idol dance like in the game, and that is actually exploding on TikTok with I think over 200,000 views from what I could gather. But yeah, and I know it's still going even to this day, and I was like, wow, I guess a lot of people seem to really like that. I should probably keep on going with that, and that I've actually been kept on going entirely because, well, I guess a lot like what everyone thinks, people can't get enough of my barber cosplay. So yeah, I actually kept it going, especially with, of course, when I did several of my TikToks of my ballerina Barbara cosplay because, well, I really wanted to show off that said costume on video and, well, see if I can do my best at ballet dancing for sure. But I'm pretty sure we'll cross that topic on that side of the bridge when we'll get to it later on. But yeah, that's easily the best memory I had when pretty much producing content revolving around my cosplays and stuff, amongst other things. Now, as probably for the worst part from what I can gather, honestly, to me, I think the worst part, or should I say my pet peeve from what I can gather, is that for while I do think the process of course, making content revolving around your cosplays can actually be great, it can actually be very time-consuming, and it really can leave a massive damper to, of course, what you're actually gonna get. Like, of course, like for example, pretty much there are times where, of course, things are not working out like you originally hoped, so you want to, of course, try and come back to it later to see if you can actually do it right this time, which I've been doing, and that's no problem on my part, despite my little frustrations I actually had. And let's not forget to mention, I did mention earlier that you're not going to please everyone on the internet for sure, because there are going to be times people are going to come in pretty much giving like tons of hate comments, which I know for sure is not welcome here in the slightest, because yeah, that actually can be a massive pet peeve from what I could gather, and I mean it's no big surprise. On top of some of the great comments and stuff, as well as of course some great compliments I got from people who really love what I do. I know I'm met with, of course, some massive backlash from the other side in particular, and yeah, it does kind of tag on for a way too long, but it does kind of irk me a whole hog for sure. But I knew I had to come to the reality that not everyone's gonna be liking what I do for sure. You are still gonna have a lot of people that will leave you totally split down the middle for the most part, whether you'll find yourself either good or bad. So yeah, that can be one big pet peeve of mine, but I've actually learned to just deal with it as time goes on and not let it affect me personally.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I have a couple really like awesome moments in making content and creating. So I think one of the biggest ones wasn't even planned to be a content creation. It was just filming it because it was when I did my walk for the ASEN Central cosplay competition in my Your cosplay that I spoke about earlier. And my husband had filmed it from the crowd, and I posted it on TikTok with a really fun video, like sound that was going around at the time, and that blew up. And I was not expecting it to, but I think at last count it had like 136K views. And I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. So that gave me a really big boost of like, oh yay, this is a really great cosplay and people like it and people think I look good and they love the power that I had on stage, which
Mm-hmm.
when you're on stage, I'm sorry, I was nervous the entire time. I don't care what anyone says. I was freaking out the entire time. Held it together, but still freaking out. Another one was my husband and I did Tinder and Bumble from RT, where they did like a spoof movie trailer for the dating apps, and they had never seen that done as a cosplay. And Barbara retweeted it, and Blaine like came up and like talked to us about it. Like we've never seen this. Holy crap! Like, and to have that kind of recognition from people who originated the characters was really kind of like, hey, like just that moment of like starstruck. Uh, the crappy part of gaining content creation and doing that is, yeah, you get a lot of hate comments. Sometimes posts do not go well. Sometimes you're like, oh, I worked really hard on this, or like I'm showing all this detail work, and you get 3 likes, and it sucks. And I think that's the other hard part is it might not even be hate comments. It might not even be people like, putting you down. It's just you don't get the views, you don't get the interaction that you were wanting with it. That you're like, I really want people to see this. I want them to show everything. And it doesn't go anywhere. And you've done everything that every other person who's doing that content does. Like you put all the hashtags, you put everything in there, and it does nothing. But they get, hundreds and hundreds of likes, and you got 4. And they have like around the same number of people, or maybe they have a little bit more. Like it just doesn't. You're trying to figure out what you're doing wrong. And the thing is, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just the algorithms for all the apps suck. Just gonna say that. No one knows how they work except people who made them. But even then, I don't know if they know how they work. So trying to game the algorithm, trying to do all that, it's just don't try. Just do your content, do what you do, and just learn to accept that not everything's going to be great in terms of the algorithm, but if you're proud of it, then that's all that matters.
I agree a lot with what a lot of you guys were saying. It's just positive for me is whenever you do see the things you really put effort into grow. But another positive is when it's the ones you don't expect, which is one who I kind of ask on my channel a few times, like, is it the ones that like you don't expect to do very well, the ones you put a lot of work into? A lot of the time people say it's the ones you don't expect. I mean, I made a duet of a now very controversial cosplayer when they were being Bill Cipher and doing, which puppet are you going to pick? And I was meeting the marionette from Five Nights at Freddy's. And I did that, like, very stupid joke. That video just blew up. Why? I don't know. Because I'm punny. I don't know. Then there's also like I posted just like a very stupid, not even cosplay related, video. It was like it was that meme from Thor Ragnarok, like, you can't defeat me. Oh, I know I can't, but he can, type of thing. I was doing that with Springtrap from the movie, Mike Schmidt, and Nick Cage's character from Willy's Wonderland. And I posted that like late last week, okay? It's almost exactly a week away. It has 15.3 thousand likes as of right. I don't know right now. It might be 0.4 now. And I'm just like, why? Because the movie just came out and everybody loves Nick Cage. That's why. And something I wanted to touch on with what they were saying about negative comments, I almost see those as like a badge of honor, and I'm going to explain why. If it's a troll, it's somebody who actually dislikes whatever, that means they think they're going to get enough attention from it, from you and your comment, and from either from you commenting back to them or like just your fan base trying to defend you. They want that attention that you're getting, so that means that video or picture or story or whatever is doing well enough for somebody to be like, I want that attention. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be very rude to the person, and because a lot of times on demon interviews, on my own content, there are no comments. Nobody comments. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter. The positive comments I appreciate. Everybody loves a good positive comment. But it's the negative ones where you're like, okay, this person took the time to make a half attempt at making a jab at you. And it's very claustrophobic in here. So it's very weird to talk in this for long. So then it just shows that there is a fan base and people are enjoying the video and it's out there. It's out there to the world. And that's going to happen. And what I learned in my business class is don't either ignore the negative comment or respond to them positively. Because they're not going to comment back at all, and it shows everybody else that, oh, you're not going to get disrupted by this person and calling you a fart face, or anything along those lines. You know what I mean? So I see them more as like a positive thing sometimes. And my teacher also said don't delete them unless they're like very off board and not anything to do with you. Like if they're randomly posting a link to something random, you can delete those comments. That's from a business standpoint. My negative thing is like when you're doing a collaboration with somebody and they don't post about it. That is the thing that irks me the most. It's like, we both did this thing. I'm posting about it. Why aren't you? It's only hurting yourself and myself. Why? That's the thing that irks me the most. It's like, But yeah, I'm also gonna take this off because I'm
Okay.
very claustrophobic in here for some reason.
Go ahead and be comfy. Not me though, I share everything from TV interviews. And I try to leave comments. I try. I remember one time, like just recently, like somebody left like a very negative comment on one of the demon interview shorts and everything. And I was like, Springy, somebody's being mean. And I was in the video too with a friend and we were doing like a character interview and stuff. And Springy's like, I'm gonna go kill them with kindness. And I'm like, okay. So he leaves the comment, but I hear it in his voice and everything. And I'm like, scary. No, but it's good he took care of that, so. I feel like a little kid. Baby.
But yeah, that's the exact same thing I was talking about. It's just show them that it's not disrupting you.
Yeah.
What they said, it doesn't matter, and this is just a opportunity to show other people that, hey, this place is a positive place. It doesn't matter what they're saying. I'm still going to treat them politely. Even though you want to drop kick them through their own screens. But A, you can't, and B, then you're just stooping down to their own level. Just either ignore it or just don't even acknowledge it. There are so many fights going on right now in that 15.3 thousand video about if Nick Cage's character could actually defeat Springtrap, and I just am just letting it be. I'm ignoring it. I'm not a part of this. I made this stupid meme, and that's all I'm a part of. I'm not going to add my inputs in the video, because that's just stirring the pot, and they will get over themselves in a minute. Somebody will get mixed, they'll lose it or whatever, like they'll lose where they're at in the conversation, because TikTok's conversation thing is all messed up. You know, it's just, leave it alone, primarily, or kill them with kindness is the type of thing that my business teacher told me about. And I even asked him, like, what about these types of ones? He's like, oh, if you mean the ones where it's like it has nothing to do with, he's talking more like businesses, like if it says nothing about your pastries or whatever, then yeah, you can delete them. But if it's a thing like a criticism or anything along those lines, just be like, thank you for your comment. We will address if we can. You know, kill them with kindness is just basically what he said. I wrapped up a whole semester class in one sentence. Kill them with kindness. But yeah.
Spring's master class. You heard it here first, folks. Okay. Yeah, so, and what's also nice too, and I think I talk about this in the mental health podcast recording, you know, you can like filter your comments so only people you follow or friends can comment. Sometimes you can turn off comments. So, yeah, so there's that as well. So, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and go on to the next question, which is, okay, Ackley, get ready. Who is your inspiration to your hobby and or career as a cosplayer?
Well, I guess from my part, I have gotten like tons of course, inspirations on my part, especially with, of course, pretty much what I'm doing as a content creator in general. But when it comes to cosplayers in particular, I've actually turned to a lot of cosplayers that I actually looked online to gain inspiration to really find the proper needs to, of course, perfect my cosplays in particular. Like a good example is from what I could give when I did my gender bend version of Ruby Rose outfit during her time in Mistral from Ruby volumes 4, 5, 6, and a little bit of 7. I did gain inspiration from one cosplayer that I really do admire that I do hope to meet in person, which is Makealoo Cosplay, who has actually put together some really awesome cosplays in particular, especially with her Ruby Rose cosplays. Those ones are just so quite amazing. So yeah, I did gain a little bit of inspiration from her just to perfect my own entirely, especially with, of course, the one that I got going on as of now. But yeah, there's like tons of inspirations what I could gather, but I know I'm not gonna list every single one of them at the top of my head, because I think it'll take up the entire night as we speak. But hey, I think it actually feels good to actually find the proper inspiration I need from other cosplayers that I really do admire for sure. Because with what you've seen from them, you can actually get some ideas to how to perfect your own in particular, especially with the ones that I've got playing down that I do hope to pretty much work on in the near future. Like pretty much probably I think a good example is that I know one of my future cosplays is my own take on Princess Tutu, and how else will of course I pretty much look at other Princess Tutu cosplayers out there just to really get some good ideas to perfect my own. But I won't even bother going on that front just yet. I'll cross that bridge once I get there.
Yeah, definitely. Mangaloo Cosplays is a big inspiration for me. I actually have gotten to meet her a couple times, and she is an amazing person, super nice and kind. Some others that I have really looked up to, at least in terms of just how you can make cosplay into a career. Yaya Han, Jessica Negri, Meg Turney, some of the really big names in the cosplay industry, but also just, the ones that aren't as big, like Mangaloo and Accent Kisses, like those who have made it much more of they've made it into a business, they've made their career about it. I know a couple of them, it's their side gig, like they still have a day job, is the only way to really describe it. They still have like a full-time career, but they also do cosplay and content creation on the side. And I know Mangaloo was able to make that into their career. They are now a full-time cosplayer and do that professionally. But I also know that, for other cosplayers, it's not that. But they do make it into a career on the side. They do as like, it's my backup. It's what I do for fun, but I make some money out of it, which is great. I think for me, it's kind of trying to find that balance of exactly what I want, but I do love the idea of becoming a full-time content creator and becoming a full-time cosplayer. Will that happen? I don't know, because the last 20 years has been, a complete change in how cosplay is looked at now. I think, especially even just the last 3 years, cosplay has insanely changed because so many people found it during the world saying no, the world saying goodbye. like just with you, Jen, like you found cosplay during that time, and so many people did, which is amazing for the cosplay community, but it also makes it harder. That's not a deterrent, that's just kind of the truth of it. So it yeah, it can get harder, but it also means you find more friends. It means you find more people to collaborate with. It finds, more people going, this is normal. This is not weird. This is normal. And I think that, like, finding cosplayers like that, because a lot of these cosplayers that I look up to, I also go, a lot of the cosplayers I look up to, they're my best friends now. I go, yeah, I'm holding on tight to these friends because we're going on this cosplay journey together. And I think that's something awesome because you can cosplay at any age. So it's nice to see how we all change as we get older with our cosplays. So that also changes the content you make. So it's, yeah, it's getting older as you cosplay. Yeah, it changes how you do things, but it's still great, and I love it. So I think having those cosplayers that I've looked up to for a long time is great for inspiration, and now it's taking that and going on with the cosplay journey.
I definitely agree. Some of the people who I look up to I actually do look up to, literally and metaphorically looking up to Jen.
Wait, what? No, you can't do that. I'm not an option.
No, you are an option. Excuse you.
Yeah.
But one of my first ones was I believe their username is like Cat. No, not Cat. That was somebody else. I do look up to them. I look up to pretty much anybody who's on my channel. What was their name? Oh, I feel horrible. I forgot their name. I'll look it up later, and Jen will flash a giant neon sign just right in front of my face, just like boom, boom. And but something I've also learned is that
you have to remember where you came from a lot of the time. Because I've interviewed cosplayers who are just starting, people who've been doing it for years, people who just started and then they blew up because they look exactly like, I don't know, Bruce Wayne. I don't know. I'm just choosing, random people or whatever, but a lot of people kind of don't actually forget, but they forget the feeling of how they started, and it's horrible to see. And then they just get either then they start becoming the people who are like who either think or that they are just so like out of reach and almost out of touch sometimes that it's sad to see that like cosplayers who were on your level at one point are now just it's amazing for them, but it's like you can't talk to them anymore. And sometimes with some people you have to like step on like I may talk about the negatives, it seems like. I don't mean to be. It's just like with any community, there are the people who are the heads of them, there are the people who are the middle, the end and everything, or at the beginning of their lives or doing this type of thing. And you just have to remember that we're all people. Like we're all people, we all make mistakes, everything like that. And you just have to remember that just because Batman fan 95 is going on a rant about someone, look deeper into it. Don't just like trust everybody's word for no good reason. I know I'm pointing at Mad. I'm not talking about Mad, I promise. At least on my screen, that's where I'm pointing at. But like, it's just, you just have to remember that, like, you just have to remember that a lot of the time. But the people who I look up to are just anybody who's been on my show, and somebody who's actually I'm looking up to and getting tips from right now is a Dark Mina the Gone, because I'm currently trying to go into trying to do makeup and stuff for my cosplays. And I know, like, I am bright red. I'm always bright red. And like I'm trying to get into makeup a little bit because I'm going to be doing hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they'll say yes to me doing this. Being Art the Clown from the Terrifier soon to be trilogy. Jen, you should never see this movie.
It sounds cool. No, I want to see it
It's
now.
not. No. Go eat your pancakes in the corner and
don't tell me what to do. This is my show. No,
and then I just leave, and then like I get kicked out.
We're having a movie night after this. Goodbye.
Oh, you don't. Okay. Because like okay, I'm gonna move on from that for a hot second, but like his makeup is full like white clown makeup, and obviously I'm pale, but I'm not that pale. I'm not neon white, as what I'm calling that. So I need to work on that. So I'm looking up to Mina a lot recently to learn how to do it. Trying to get some of the materials that aren't $1 million per palette. And I'm going to be trying to use some of those skills to do and try and finish up Grim Jean, because that's one of the things I wanted to do with him is like paint my face white. And yeah, my long rant of 3 totally different rants over. Yeah.
So good, because we're sharing experiences, so that's what we're doing today. So yeah, and I think but you mentioned Springy, like going back to your roots in a sense, and finding, like whenever I first started, it was like I had a little box and I set my phone up and everything, and I didn't have fancy backdrops and all this stuff, and and now like I like metaphors a lot. I'm so sorry. That's just who I am. But, I've grown over the years, and I'm still continuing to grow and hopefully blossom and inspire folks. So, speaking of which, I will quickly say my inspiration as always, Lindsay Sterling. I know she's not technically a cosplayer, she's a dancing violinist, huge on YouTube, amazing work. All the costumes she makes herself. She may rent out some stuff, but usually she'll take like a item of clothing and she'll sew like patches, laces, other fabrics, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my cup of tea and what I do with my cosplay. So, alrighty. So we have a few more questions, with the next one being, well, this one's fun. Have you ever collaborated with other cosplayers and or content creators? And have you ever collaborated with like any brands?
Well, I guess on my part, from what I can recall, I think for other content creators, I say the answer is absolutely yes on that front. Because yeah, as someone who has actually been producing videos on YouTube again for 15 years now, which yeah is quite saying a whole lot. And do I get my senior discount at this point? But I digress. Yeah, I've actually been pretty much producing content for 15 years now, and yeah, I have collaborated with other content creators as well, some of which have actually been my friends, even my girlfriend from that front. But when it comes to other cosplayers, that I have yet to get to alongside other brands from what I can gather, because I'm keeping my hopes up that I'll actually do some stuff, let alone create my own media kit to showcase what I got in order to really get to on that point, as you mentioned, Chang. So yeah, it is going to be very time consuming on my part, but hey, I say it'll be great to collab with other cosplayers out there for sure, especially the ones that either have a much bigger following than you actually have, just to get more of a publicity, or of course the ones that you admire the most, that you've always wanted to work with for a long time now, which yeah, can be very time consuming. Yeah, on that front. But when it comes to other stuff, like of course stuff for photo shoots, like of course photographers and the proper location and stuff to do it at, I think that is pretty much another discussion for another day for sure. But hey, if the results to that still actually come out great for the most part, and you finally get some recognition from the people that you admire the most, especially pretty much the people who have actually made the anime or show or anything that actually has a big fandom that we actually look up to you as much as you look up to them. I say that's no problem on that front in the most part, and if not, then well, where else would you be right now?
Yeah, so I haven't really like officially collaborated with anybody. It's more so just I'm with my friends and we go, yeah, we're gonna do this group cosplay and we're gonna do these photos together. The one that I do a lot of is with Haikyuu, the volleyball anime. There's a lot of us in my area that we love that anime, so we'll get together a couple times. Like in the last couple of months, we've gotten together at least once or twice, and we'll do photo shoots. We did a video where we were just like at an arcade and like had a the how we always would do like the CMVs and everything. It was a lot of fun. So that kind of collaboration I've done. I have a couple that I've got upcoming, but they're not until like next year, like late next year, doing just collaborations with cosplayers I've met and going, hey, I love your cosplay of this. You love my cosplay of this character. Collaboration, like photo shoot together. Yes, absolutely. Let's plan this. Great. Awesome. So that kind of stuff I do more so. I do love when I get to work with different photographers that they do content creation. Got to do that for my Maloney cosplay from the Hades 2, which still super excited about. But like that was something the photographer really loved and enjoyed, and so we got to have a lot of fun with that and all the cosplay stuff for that. So I think a lot of times when it comes to collaborations, I haven't done any brands. I keep getting the spam brand messages. Those ones I get all the time. I'm just like, nope. I always check the links. I'm like, let me just look at, the person who's interacting with me, not the actual account they're trying to sponsor. But, and usually it's like, there's nothing there. So I'm like, okay. Until the actual brand is reaching out to you, don't go for any of those other links. Don't go for it. If the actual brand is reaching out to you, then be like, okay, let's look at the terms. Let's see, what are you wanting? Because if you're going with a brand and collaborating with them, then you want to make sure that you're getting something out of it. And are you wanting a review of a product? Are you wanting, just some posts about a product? Are you wanting just to feature me for something? Okay, great. What do I get in return? Make sure it's an equal trade for at least those kind of collaborations. When it's like another cosplayer to another cosplayer, make sure you both know, hey, who's posting what? What do we want to do about it? Like those kind of things when you are collaborating with other people. Just make sure you're aware of what you're doing for that. And that way you cover your bases. Make sure everything is in like a text, because voice calls, if something goes wrong, you don't have a paper trail to kind of be like, no, this is what we talked about. This is what we said. That goes across everything. Always have a paper trail. Just always have a paper trail for things like that, where if something goes wrong, okay, this is what we had planned. Let's have the backups going. So collaborating for me is usually, hey, I love this cosplay. You love this cosplay. Let's do this together. Let's have some fun.
What? Me? No, never. It's not. I have a whole YouTube channel basically just doing collaborations with people. No, not me. But for real, I always enjoy doing them. A lot of the time it's me entering them because I sent them a random, might look like spam, message on Instagram or on Twitter or something, and they actually answer, which is rare, and then they actually continue the conversation. But yeah, I always enjoy doing them. I agree with you that communication is a big key with a lot of things. Time zones is a problem child of mine. I have to deal with all the time. To the point where I was trying to do an interview with me, my friend Damon, who is in Jersey, and somebody in Canada. I was trying to do like some quick math in my head, being like, okay, what time is this? I'm like, wait. And then I realized the person in Canada, it's the same time zone as the person in New Jersey. So I was like doing like, wait, this converted to this and that. So like it was so weird in my brain. But I do agree that you need to have a written thing, because some cosplayers, because for a lot of my content, it's online, so it's a lot of video and stuff, like this type of thing. And whenever a underage cosplayer is on the channel, I get a recorded video message from their legal guardian saying, yes, I am allowing this person to be on here because I don't want someone to come after me. Or if the cosplayer is the adult and their child walks in behind, just, being a small child and childing around, after the video, I'm like, A, is okay for them to be in it? They're like, yeah. And then I get a recording of them saying, yes, it's okay. Because A, YouTube is annoying, and B, it's better to be overly crazy about that type of thing than being not stressed about it at all, because then it could cause a problem in the future. So I'm like, okay, better cover all my bases before I need to. Cover the bases before anybody hits the bat. Before anybody hits the ball with the bat. But that's my thing about any collaborations. Know who you're collaborating with, what your plan is, and make sure that everybody who needs to know knows. Because if it's two consenting adults, awesome. That's all the people who you needs to be a part of it. But just make sure you know. It's better to know and then be like, oh, okay, cool. Sorry, you look younger than you do. Then that's a compliment. You can get right into it. Then you start off on a good note. Boom. But yeah, that's my only thing. And make sure that either side of the party knows that if one person's actually posting it, the other one has to promote it too, or else their fans don't see it, and then it's like, why don't I get to see it? Because you're not following both of us. You know, like, ugh. But yeah, I think that's about it on my side about collaborations. Yeah, that's about it. And make sure you know the person and you've talked to them for a while before you get in the same boat with them. Because once you're in their boat, it's gonna be harder to get out than get in. I think that's it. Now I'm done. There we go.
You're good. Actually, I have my answer. And this was the same answer that I shared for part 1, which is the collaboration, you know, besides being a part of Demon Interviews and everything, the collaboration that we did here was the Pass the Brush Challenge. So we did that. That took a lot of planning and preparation and everything, but boy howdy did it come out really, really good. So yeah, I mean, it's video, it's not in person. One day we will all meet in person. I believe this in my soul. I'm manifesting it. But yeah, it was really exciting getting to see like the different transitions and cosplays, and we even had Mousy in it. So yeah, Cosplay Tea Time Pass the Brush Challenge. You can check it out on our channel. So okay, next up we have you ever hosted a fun giveaway, meetup, or event? And this can be online or in person, / or both, wherever.
Well, I guess from my part, I think for pretty much for giveaways, honestly, as of now, I haven't just yet because I don't feel that there's anything that I've actually got that I think will be worthy enough of a giveaway, but that'll be something I'll actually look into later on for sure. Maybe it'll be something like as a nice little contest I can do for one of my videos that I'll do like at the end saying that, hey, I'm doing a giveaway, here's how you can do it and stuff. So yeah, pretty much getting like the prizes and stuff for giveaways, pretty much like the cosplays, and of course pretty much the camera equipment itself. That too costs a lot of money entirely. But if it's something that your followers would actually be interested in, I think that would actually be great. So I've yet to, of course, do any giveaways and stuff, but I'll know once I actually get there for sure. And as for, of course, meetups and other events from what I could gather, well, I do recall years and years ago when I, during my early years at conventions, I did host a couple of panels from what I could gather that you could definitely find on my end. One is of which pretty much revolving around My Little Pony and the Brony fandom from all the way back in 2015, and yes, I was actually a part of the Sega fandom from years ago, but probably been a long time now, but that was of course my first attempt at doing a panel, and honestly I was pretty much nervous because I need to because I had no idea what I was doing, but I did try my best, hands down, and then I tried again a year later, where of course I did like a whole video gaming versus family flicking panel that I did. Which, honestly, I think it's one that's been in the works for years and years now, especially since I originally wanted to do it with one other person who wanted to do it with me, but I'm not gonna say names on here just for the sake of their privacy. So yeah, I did a little better, but I couldn't necessarily meet on the same level as other panelists that are actually much more skilled than I am for sure, but I'm not against the idea of hosting a panel entirely. I mean, I really wanted to do more stuff like it, because yeah, the first time that I actually did those two, those were actually what you can say is, well, artistic experiments for sure. Yeah, pretty much the ones where I actually did give it my all to see if I could be good at it. Didn't work out the way I thought it would, and maybe years later, if I felt there will be a one that I think would be good enough for me to really try again to see if I'm good at it or not, then I think I might be on the right path for sure. So yeah, stuff like that can actually take some time to get used to on that front, but hey, I still think it actually paid off in the end, and usually I would of course stick for when it comes to other events. I usually stick to like cosplays and masquerades and stuff, whether it be showcasing my cosplays in their entirety for a nice little walk on. And of course, the ones I'm still really proud of every once in a while, doing actually pretty much some nice skits for those type of events for sure. Like I actually did a couple that are really great comedy skits. One of which actually got me a third place, which is absolutely amazing. And the one I did earlier this year, again, since I did mention my ballerina barber cosplay, I did try my hand at, of course, doing my hand at my first attempt at doing a dance skit in that outfit, which honestly, to me, yeah, I didn't necessarily win for sure, but I say it was actually one that I'm still pretty proud of for sure. And yeah, hopefully the next time I actually go into that front, I will do a whole lot better at it with a whole lot more training and experience on that front. But I do hope to also mix in bits and pieces of comedy as well to not only make it entertaining, but also actually pretty funny for sure. And of course, for meetups, that too I have yet to see how pretty much work out on my end. I did mention some time ago about the Sailor Moon meetup that I got to participate in back at Anime Boston in 2018, but I think it'll be quite interesting to see what it'll be like if I actually hosted my own cosplay meetup for sure, because as Springy actually said earlier, collabing with other people, it actually can require some planning and timing in order to do exactly that. And once you're on that boat, you can never get off for sure, unless for the fact that the boat that you're actually on has no lifeboats at all. So, but yeah. I have yet to, of course, do an official cosplay meetup on my end, but I would definitely love to do that. And yeah, I know yeah, again, since I did mention my ballerina barber cosplay, I'm already visioning in my head on what it'll be like on pretty much on a whole Genshin Impact ballet cosplay meetup on that point. But yeah, so far I have yet to actually get that going, since I already thought of the idea for sure. But needless to say, there are plans, of course, on my end for sure, alongside hopefully see about doing like a whole panel and stuff, whether it be, of course, pretty much sharing my knowledge on, of course, content creation, and see if I can pass it along to any other people that also want to get into it, or pretty much discussing on different opinions and stuff, like, of course, anime, movies, TV shows, just to name a few on that front for sure. But again, I have yet to actually get those ideas going on my part, but needless to say, there are plans, I'm sure.
For me, I haven't really hosted any meetups. I've gone to them, several of them. That's kind of how I made a lot of my cosplay friends. Done a lot of the Haikyuu meetups that are in the area here. The only thing I've really like kind of co-hosted or at least helped run was a charity stream for Extra Life. We did ours. I think it was literally last weekend. Oh my gosh, it feels like forever ago. But that's more of what I do for the hosting of like meetups or things like that, is more of the charity side with Extra Life. That's kind of what I was doing. But I'm not opposed to, hosting anything or doing something. It's just I haven't found either the fandom or the like event that it would warrant that, because at least in my area, there are so many events that happen that are for cosplay or for that fandom or for that genre. Just because we have a good chunk of conventions that are in the area. I'm in the Illinois area, so we have a lot of conventions that pop up. So there's not as much of a need to do meetups, and I don't really do panels. I'll go to them, but there's so many conventions have wait lists for their panels, and I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to go to them. I'm happy to help with them. I don't need to host them. That's just a me thing. Um, I know what it's like to kind of be behind the scenes, at least on a charity stream, and that was about a month of planning, trying to get graphics together, trying to get all the scheduling done, and it came down to the wire. Again, like it's one of those where we do everything, and we say we're gonna. It's planning, and things happen. Things change literally last minute, and I can do that online. I don't know if I can do that in person. So for me, I'm better at doing it online, but I'm always the better as the helper, not so much the person hosting it. That's just for me though.
Yes. Over. No. So I have never been to anything in person. I've been to a panel ran by the late Jason David Frank, where it was just meet and greet. Which was great. Went to it on my birthday. It was great. But online, I've done a charity live stream, and I agree, it's a lot. And sometimes the graphics you plan on doing aren't the ones that are going to happen, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, and I host meetups technically for whenever I'm doing the character interviews. I mean, people are chatty in those, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I will say I am hoping one day to host Cosplay Tea Time panel, meet up with everybody, so that is the dream that is in the future, so good stuff. Okay, next up we have you ever traveled somewhere to make content?
Well, I guess on my part, I know I've actually done a lot of traveling and stuff when it comes to pretty much stuff related to conventions and stuff. But I guess in terms for content on that front, well, I think to me, it does kind of depend on where exactly you want to go that you think would actually be good enough for that content for sure. Like if it was a tourist attraction that you would actually go to that would pique everyone's interest, going like, oh hey, this actually does look interesting. I may want to visit that someday. So, but yeah, there's actually quite a whole lot from, of course, my part for sure. And yeah, I know I haven't actually done much traveling to conventions because it does kind of go from here to there, of course, my end, and not going anywhere else from what I can gather. But I do hope that something like that could happen on my part for sure. And I think I would definitely love to do more traveling for sure, especially with, of course, future conventions that I do hope to go to later on, as I think probably I did listing one of my social media posts entirely. I think it was from some time ago, but hey, hopefully I'll definitely work some things out on my end to pretty much get to where we need to be on that front. But yeah, either way, traveling that too can cost a lot of money for sure, but as long as, of course, the time to actually get there will actually be good enough for the content that you post, especially with, of course, your cosplays and stuff. Again, the wait will actually be worth it, and if it does work out, then brilliant. Keep on going with it and see if you can do more stuff like it. But if it doesn't work out for you, then you need to be on the understanding that it was a much needed experiment. You tried, and well, nothing much else. It's just you tried.
Definitely. I have traveled a little bit for my content and such. Mostly it's like I will just travel to the conventions that are nearby. I have done, some travel outside to a couple conventions. Gone to Texas and to Massachusetts to, go to conventions. The story that I think is the most fun for me is I actually did cosplay on my honeymoon. We were, yeah, my husband was like, yeah, we're bringing out a cosplay. And I went, what? wait, you're okay with it? He's like, yeah, we're going to the woods. Of course you're going to bring a cosplay. I'm like, I am so happy I married you. So we went and did like a photo shoot in like where we were staying in the woods, and so that that I think is like the most I've traveled, like to do something that's not just, you know, maybe my backyard, or, you know, just traveling to like the nature park that's nearby. Like, so I do travel a little bit, but most of the time I stay in my home, do my content there. Unless I'm going, you know, to a convention, then I'm gonna do my best to be like, okay, I'm here. I want to get as many photos. I want to do as many videos. I want to do as much as I can in all the cosplays I'm bringing, so I have content that I can either post while I'm there and be like, hey, here's what I was on day 1. Here's what I was day 2, day 3, day 0, whatever. And then, oh, here's me missing the convention a week later. Here's me talking about what I did 2 weeks later. Like, having content that I can work with. So I don't travel as much right now, because, again, as Ackley said, money. Money is, unfortunately, I think a lot of reason why cosplayers don't really travel too much, unless they have, you know, a good paying job, or not really good paying job, but like they have the disposable income to be able to do that. So green screens are great to try and figure stuff out. Also, just finding different angles, finding ways to just play around with your space, are great ways to just add to your content. But definitely, like, if it was more possible, if it was much more possible, I would probably be traveling a lot more to different locations to do photo shoots on site. I love being able to do stuff in like actual woods and go by, sit in a lake, like whatever it is to actually bring the character to life more.
No, I have not.
That's the shortest answer you have ever given, and that's okay. I'm over here just like crushing on Mad Hatter's story about her and her husband meeting, and I'm just like, I want to write a fan fiction about this now.
I'll tell you the whole story later.
Okay, yay, good. Not like I have a whole laundry list of writing, but it's fine. Let's one more. Let me see. Traveling. So I've traveled to conventions for State Comic Con, both in Hagerstown and in Harrisburg. I guess traveling to my sister's home in Pennsylvania and everything like that, to do our collabs for Redwall and Tim Burton and stuff. So, yeah, I'm hoping one day go to Japan, hopefully RTX in Texas. Actually, there was one more place, California. I cosplayed Coco Adele out in the middle of the desert after reading After the Fall, so sweating in a turtleneck in, 100-degree heat. It's great. Good memories. So, yes. Speaking of, so this is kind of going more towards like mental health type of thing, but it is an important topic to address, which is while you're filming content, do you take breaks from filming, and what do you do during those breaks, and how do you prevent burnout?
Well, I guess on my part, what I normally do when I actually pretty much produce content entirely, and seems like my stuttering I had is really trying to really stop me from, of course, producing actual words. So yeah. Mostly on myself, I can't help myself, but usually what I usually do when I take breaks and stuff from producing content, I would normally take some time to actually get myself a nice breather, just to really soak in the atmosphere, of course, the content that you're producing. Sometimes I would actually get myself some nice water to help quench my thirst and stuff, because, yeah, let's face it, water is actually healthy for you, and if not, then, well, I'm not gonna go that route, so, but yeah, I guess, if anything, those are what I normally do, when, I actually produce, content and stuff. Usually I would, of course, get a nice, breather to, myself, just, like, soak it all in, and, usually take the, time to myself to, really ease things down a bit, to, prevent myself from being burned out, entirely, and of course, once I actually get all those taken care of, I would actually pretty much go back to it right away with pretty much still being 100% fully just mainly fully recharge just to get yourself back on your feet for sure. So yeah, it would be quite nice to actually try to see about getting all 100% done with no breaks whatsoever. But I guess if you were to actually do that, then I think you'll be absolutely drained, of course, on that front. Almost like you actually want to, of course, get around to either a couch or a bed and just pretty much fall flat on your face because of how exhausted you are. And I should know because during my time at conventions, I always have a great time for sure. But of course, once all the fun is over, I will actually come back home completely exhausting everything just to do my best to regain my energy. And even when I do, yeah, I think I would actually say to myself, looks like I'm getting a second wind, but then all of a sudden, there it goes. So, but yeah, stuff like that actually does happen in my end, to which, yeah, I guess, if anything, to quote one of the buttons I got from Anime Boston, I seem to be one of the many people having a bad case of quote-unquote con plague for sure, but either way, I say it is good to take breaks every once in a while, just so that you won't be entirely drained altogether for sure, and it'll be a good way to really balance out your mental health entirely, just to really get you one excited for one moment, and then ease things down in the next for sure, because if you actually go for a one instead of both at the same time, then it can actually leave you emotionally drained for sure. So yeah. I'm definitely giving all that to any future cosplayers out there. Definitely take breaks every once in a while, or practically once or twice every single day. I think that will really help you out entirely.
Yeah, definitely. When I'm making content, and if I, especially because I do mostly photos, I'm not doing a lot of video. Photos, I will take like maybe 30, 40 photos. I change poses, I do all that. And then I go, okay, let me look at them and see if I like them. If I like them, then I go on. If I don't, then I'm like, okay, let me try something else. Let me reposition, let me try lighting stuff, let me change it. So I don't really take too many breaks when I'm doing actual content creating like that. Um, but there are times where I just don't post because I don't have anything. I don't have anything new. I don't really have anything. Or I'll do like, hey, here's my, like a story on Instagram, like, here's my fun thing that I did today. Or, the little things that, like, hey, post like if you're going to this convention, or hey, what's a cosplay you last saw, or just what's your cos plan, something like that, to kind of keep the engagement still there. But I think for me, I do get burned out quite a lot just because cosplay is a lot. It's very fun. I think we can all agree that cosplay is very fun. It's very enjoyable, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to it. I want it to look really good. I want, like, in my head I'm like, yeah, it looks amazing. And then I see myself and I'm like, that's not what's in my head. And it's that disconnect that can cause me to just go, nope, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. So there have been times where I will do a photo shoot and I'm like, I hate everything about it. And then a week later, I will re-get into the cosplay. I'll take new photos and I'll go, that's what I want. Those are what I wanted. So sometimes it's just a mental game, and sometimes you got to take a step back. And if you're not feeling it, like genuinely, you're taking the photos or you're doing the videos and you're going, I don't feel this. I don't feel comfortable. I'm in my head too much. Then stop. Just stop for the day. Unless you have a way to get out of it. Because for me, my way is I have to stop and I have to just go, you know what? It's not happening today. I'm going to get into comfy clothes. I'm going to take the wig off. I'm going to take the makeup off. I'm going to just not do it. A lot of times I also go, okay, I'll do it today. And then tomorrow is writing day. Tomorrow is, editing day. It's doing something different. It's not always, I'm going to do a photo shoot tonight, another one tomorrow, another one tomorrow, another one tomorrow, and I'll try and do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. So you also need to, like, if you want this to be a career or even a side hustle, whatever the case may be, You have to have something outside of it too. A hobby. Something that is not, you're like, I just do it for fun. I do writing for fun. I know that it's not going to get me anything. I do it for fun. That's how I get my creativity out of, then I go, okay, now I have new juices. Now I have new things to work with that I can put into the thing that I want to be a career, or that I can put into the thing that I want as my side gig. That is how I can help keep myself from being burnt out. But sometimes burnout is inevitable. It just is, how far back did you push it? And when it does happen, you're okay. Nothing is wrong. Sometimes you literally just need to take a break and you need to be kind to yourself. And I know that's hard. I know that's very hard for people. It's very hard for me. But if you're kind to yourself and just go, okay, I'm going to just do one thing today. And that one thing is, I'm just going to get into cosplay. Great. Want to take a photo of it? Yes. Cool. Take the photo. And then that's all you do. It might have taken you 3 hours to get into the cosplay. You had really intricate body paint you got to put on it. It's whatever it is. Do it for you. The content creation kind of comes second. If you go into it going content creation first, at least like with photos. With videos and things, that's a different story. With just photos, if you're going into it like, I want this to be like 1,000 likes and so much engagement, you're going to be disappointed more often than not. You go into it going, I felt amazing and I look so good. And then you get the engagement on top of it. Then that's a good thing. Do the posts for you, then the content.
Yeah, I agree. But I do have to agree, mainly with the trying to make content for other people type of thing. That's never going to work. Even the content that you know with the exact XYZ, if with the if you feel like just from experience, like this video is gonna do great if XYZ things happen. Those things aren't always going to happen. With my content, a lot of the time that bases on who's also in the video and if they promote it as well. Because I have a video with Random Encounters, the YouTube channel, the one who made, debatably most known for like their Five Nights at Freddy's musicals in general. The ones with Markiplier, Nate Wants to Battle, them. And me, and at the time who I had a co-host more often, super nervous. And, we prepared, we even practiced, because like this is our first big interview. We're like, okay, we need to make sure this is down to a point, because I know I probably would have maybe I would have clammed up, and my friend probably would have went on too much about his own things that were going on. Not negative things, just like his content in general, which he does a lot. Which I don't hate. It just it happens, and we all have our things. And I'm like, this could be the greatest video ever. It's only episode 50. Oh my god, it's gonna go great. But then they didn't share it with anybody. It was only us, which was great. It still got engagement, got the normal amount that I was getting at the time, but the hope and the planning and the practicing for what we were doing anyway didn't really pay off, which was a bummer. And I know that was a big thing, but you just have to remember that if you have content that has anything to do with somebody else, don't bank on that other person 100%. I've sounded like a horrible, negative Nancy today. I am so sorry. But, it's true. And that's just something you have to know. Like, some people aren't going to answer you. They're going to ghost you. They're going to do the video and then just not post anything about it. Like, it's what's going to happen. If you make a career on content with other people, that type of thing is going to happen. It happens. You just have to move forward with it and not let that taper you down or take you down or anything along those lines, because that was episode 50, the one I was talking about. I am on episode 1, almost 200 now. I'm on like 191 or something like that. So, like, that was so far in the past that it's still a part of our history, and it's still something that I still obviously bring up because I'm still slightly annoyed about it, but it's just, you can't let that pull you down and make you feel any less. It's just, probably they forgot, I was a starting off YouTuber, truthfully, even if I did get subscribers from it, I probably wouldn't have earned them, then they would have left immediately after because AJ isn't on there anymore because he was in one video, like anything along those lines. And like, because that's what happens with, you have to know that you have to know the negatives so you can understand the positives, and is basically the long story short of my spiel.
Yeah, so just keep in mind as you're cosplaying, creating content. I think I explained this beforehand too. Just like small steps, baby steps. Do you have the mental capacity? It's almost like a flow chart, like yes or no. And if it's like no, then stay in your comfies. Do something that relaxes you. For me, it's video gaming. I've gotten back into writing. Maybe it's talking with a friend or something. So, but if you are, okay, like what's the first step? Okay, like putting on makeup, putting on cosplay, putting on wigs. So, taking a couple photos. Right, am I happy with it? Am I not? So it's taking small steps. And if you need to take breaks in your cosplay, definitely have water nearby. Have some tea. Tea is lovely and very, very nice to drink. So you can always have tea. You can watch movies in your cosplay, like, just doing like little things and stuff. So, I think that's really all I had. Actually, that's what I had for that, but I actually have one more question for today, which is, what are some tips and tricks for beginner cosplayers who are starting to make online content?
Well, I guess for me, I think if there's one big tip that I can actually give to any beginner cosplayer who want to do content creation on the internet, I say, yeah, like I said, I think I'm usually one of those people who likes to say that I want them to definitely start small and then work your way up entirely. So yeah, if that can actually work out for cosplaying, I say the same thing can actually work for content creation for sure. I think pretty much from what I can gather on my front, I remember when I first started, all I had was, of course, a regular old tape camera, one of my old headset mics, and Windows Movie Maker. But as time progresses and I start to get better and better at making content on the internet, I do actually start to grow and evolve and actually start to get the proper equipment I need to really amp up my quality on, of course, that front, just to stay relevant, because if anything, it's not about the quantity of content creation, it's always about quality, and I do think that's actually what I think really matters for sure. And if you can find a certain thing that you absolutely love that you think would be great for that content creation, whether it be showing off your cosplays in a video, or do like a pretty much a photo and stuff from what I can gather, I say you're guaranteed to actually find a really good amount of success to help persuade this for sure. And of course, if you are willing to go all out, then yeah, definitely make it as a full-edged career. If you're really, really good at it, just to help get yourself better and better right up until right up until you say to yourself, "Yeah, I've really accomplished a whole lot for sure." So yeah, if that's what I can give for any beginner cosplayer that wants to go into content creation, I say anything's possible for sure. In fact, I'm already saying that to me on my part for sure. So I do hope stuff like this can actually be worked out for me and actually keep on going with it. And I'm definitely saying that to any beginner cosplayer for who wants to go into content creation and social media for sure. And like I said earlier, if it works out for you, then brilliant. Keep on going with it and actually grow and evolve in order to stay relevant and gain more and more of a following. But if it doesn't work out for you, then you have to be on the understanding that it's not your fault. You tried and you did the best that you absolutely could, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So for me, since most of my stuff is photo based, looking at a lot of it, unfortunately, is you guys look at yourself and you got to figure out what angles you like. Staring at yourself in the mirror, it's you just have to. That's the only way you can do it. Getting just a regular ring light with a stand and your phone. Honestly, that is some of the best ways to start. I have a little clicker that I use so I can just take photos without needing to actually click on my phone or have it go into the burst setting where it's on a timer. It's no, I have it and I just hide it. I will just like hide it in my hand, or I will pose in a way that it hides it, and I just make sure that the light gets covered, because I've had a few times where I've done photos. I'm like, oh, I really like that photo, but the blue light from the little clicker saying that it's on and working is there. So you have to just figure out what clickers you get. There's a lot of different varieties. Just make sure it pairs up with your phone. That's really the best way to start, is you just look in the mirror a lot. You're staring at yourself, go, okay, what pose do I like? Because if you like the pose, your confidence with that pose in your cosplay will go up, and it'll make you actually look better in your photo. If I do a pose that I'm like, I feel okay, it kind of comes across in the photo. Whereas if I'm doing a pose that I really love and I'm like, yeah, I look freaking amazing, it comes through. So starting with that, if you're wanting to just be like more of a photo-based cosplayer versus video, then that's definitely the way to start. Is you just stare at yourself a lot in the mirror, find what looks good for you, just have a way to prop your phone up, and find a way that you can take photos without actually having to like move or do timers. Because with timers, if you're not in the right spot, you're like, you kind of lose some of that. Having the clicker helps, because then you're like, okay, I know I'm in the right spot, I'm good, and click, and change pose, okay, and click. So those to start out is really nice. And then as you get more comfortable and as followings happen, then you can be like, okay, let me try some new stuff. Let me add some different lighting. Let me, add a different location. Let me have a friend come and do the photos for me. Half of my photos my husband takes for me, because I'm like, I need to be in a very weird angle and I can't hide this. Help. He goes, okay, I'm just gonna do this and do that and do that. So having a friend who also does that, really helpful. Don't be afraid to ask. In all honesty, don't be afraid.
I want to add something. Mad Hatter, what I have discovered with the blue clicker, if I don't want to hold it, Springy, you'll have your turn. I saw that. I usually just wear socks whenever I'm indoors and stuff. So I'll put the clicker on the floor. Like, it'll be turned on and connected to my phone. So I'll put it on the ground, and I'll have like the button facing towards me, and I use my big toe to like click. Oh, you've done that? Where you like click?
Done that. I've done like some like my hands. I'm like, the pose is perfect with my hands. Where do I put this?
I know.
On the floor. It's on the floor.
On the floor, and you just hit it with your big toe. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not alone.
Yes, hit with your big toe. Yeah, no, you're not alone with that. I'm like, click with the big toe. Click with the big toe. Yeah. Don't do it with shoes. Don't do it with shoes. You will not have any control over it. All right, Springy, your turn.
Go ahead.
No. Something I want to say, there's two things. One, something that I go by a lot is, this is just a me thing, and this is just like how I kind of gauge if my videos are doing okay or not, is if you have more videos than you have followers, then you need to change something up. Because like I said, Demon Reviews has about 250 videos. I don't know the exact number because some of them are not numbered the same way. So forgive me. And then we're almost about 500 subscribers. That's fine. But if it was the other way around, then, you know, I would know, okay, I need to change something. Something's not going right. Something's not clicking. Something's not coming across how I want it to. Or it is, I need to change that, or, you know, whatever. That's just something that I go by. That's how I go by on my TikTok. That's how I go by on Demon Interviews. It's just what I do to know, okay, is this still working? Is the current thing we're doing still working? That's what I do. That's just a me thing, and that's how I'm gauging it of my own brain. Also, another thing is, you're not going to be Markiplier overnight. You're not going to have unfathomable amount of money. He's actually said that on recording. Even he didn't do it overnight. He's been on YouTube for 11 years. I just looked that up. I did not just know that off the top of my head. Had to do math. But just know that you're not going to be, if you're just doing pure cosplay, you're not going to be Jessica Negri in 2 days. No matter how stunning you are, no matter how amazing your pictures are, no matter how many hours you put into your video, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be that big in like a week. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen for you. Like, even with the Paul brothers, not my personal cup of tea, yeah, I thought, don't worry, I get it. And they're like, oh, we got million, other, whatever. They were also on the Disney Channel first. So, like, they might have, but they were doing something else on a bigger platform for longer at that time. So, like, cool your jets, my dude. But, like, I'm just meaning, like, I'm not trying to throw hate or anything. It's just, like, that's what I'm meaning. It's just, like, you're not going to be successful in a week. If you're lucky, maybe in a few years, you're going to be up there. If you're lucky, you know, because, like, I've been doing Demon Reviews for 4 years now, give or take, and we're at 500. Mathematically, in 8 years, we'll be at enough to actually start making money from YouTube's own pocket. Let's hope it's not that, and that's not the point, but I'm just saying, like, as a tip to new people who might be looking for something to, you know, something, just know that it's not going to happen overnight. Nothing's going to happen overnight. You just got to keep at it. Keep your determination up. Don't let the haters get to you. And just keep going. No matter what happens, just know you're not going to crash and burn in one night. And you're not going to skyrocket. Well, you might skyrocket overnight. But, like, you're going to be at a point and then get to another point. You're not going to be from 0 to 1 million over. Basically.
Yeah, fair enough.
My revival is going to get from 0 to 1 million over. That's my that's me. That's.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, and I think too, just being like grateful, like showing gratitude to like people who currently follow you, people who regularly comment and leave nice things to say and everything like that. Like, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I might have this amount of people, but like the people that like respond and comment and everything, it's like those are the ones that I'm always grateful for and everything. So, and that was kind of like my little tie-in was a connection, just finding folks to talk with, you know, getting into like a social group. Maybe y'all have like the same interest in cosplay. There's always cosplay tea time. We have lots of different interests and all that. So, yeah, I just want to say connection, social support, having a close group of friends to talk with and everything is very crucial, at least in my mind. Maybe because I'm just a social constructionist therapist and everything like that, that I'm like, yeah, social, yay. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. That's all of my questions, surprisingly. But as always, I like to turn over to the guest and tea sippers, see if they have questions for folks in the tea room here or for viewers out there. So Ackley.
Well, I guess all I can say on that front, I have no questions in particular, but all I can say on my part, I do hope the advice that we actually can give to people who do want to go into this will actually find their niche and find their own way to, of course, well, as of course I stating one of my shows on my YouTube channel, actually be a cosplayer's guide to success.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really have any questions. I think maybe just the question for viewers and for all of us here is like, find your why for creating content and always remember that. Is your why to create content? I want to find friends. I want to, expand my skill set. Whatever your reason why, make sure you still have that. Because if you do get big and you lose that why, then you lose a reason to do what you're doing. So always keep your why in you, either just on a sticky note anywhere. Yeah, always keep it with you. Um, and I think I speak for myself, but maybe speak for others. If you have questions, and you want to follow us, talk to us, I'm more than happy to help out with anything. I'm happy to give advice. I'm happy to be like, yeah, this is what you gotta do. Also, I love to talk. I love to, meet new people, talk to people, and, just be like, hi, nice to meet you. What do you want to do? Okay, cool. Let's go this way. Let's go do the thing. Like, I'm someone who's very much like that. I do need my time, to be an introvert for, a week, but I will definitely, I'm definitely someone who, I'm the con mom. So
Oh.
you meet me at a convention, say hi. I am more than happy to give you a hug if you want one. Uh, if you feel unsafe at something, I will be your new best friend. Like, so, but yeah, definitely just keep the why for why you're doing content creating uh, with you at all times when you're doing it. Springy?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. It's just I have to agree with what everybody's been saying. It's just know who you are, stick to who you are, and don't let anybody else drag you down. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter if you know more about something and they just ignore your advice or anything along those lines, just take a breath and move on. Because no matter what, it's just life. And no matter what people say online, they can't hurt you. They're not going to track you down. There's not an episode of Criminal Minds or Bones or anything like that. They're not going to hunt you down. They're just bored. The trolls are just bored and looking for a reason to fight with somebody. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So I do want to say thank you to the tea sippers that came and spoke. Thank you for sharing your stories and experiences and all your tips and tricks. I really do appreciate it. So if you're a fellow cosplayer out there and you would like to join Cosplay Tea Time, do be sure to message us on our Instagram. We have a link tree down below. Make sure to follow and support our guest and tea sippers. They are awesome, amazing, and wholesome people. So be sure to check out all their socials. And then, like I said before, just gratitude. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's supported. Thanks for everyone who's joining, commenting, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So we're going to go back to our little cosplay corners of the world and do our things. So I just want to say thank you again for watching. Hopefully everyone's taking care, staying safe. We'll see you in the next episode. And until then, keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.
Bye.